much better. What is going on, guys? Andrew Reed here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new video. Currently on our morning walk. It is Wednesday, which means I've got meetings all morning, so we're up early in the cold, getting some steps in. It's been something that we've been doing for the last, I'd say a month or two. Been integrating between 5,000 and 10,000 steps daily. Shoot for 10, but you know, I don't have a very active job. Try to get my steps in. So we are out here sipping on some coffee, getting some laps in at our local park. Later on in the video, I'm going to run you guys through my new program, break it down exactly what I'm doing, how I'm eating, how I'm training, and why I'm training that way. In addition to that, I will be showing you some fun, healthy recipes, probably get some workout footage, because again, this is, you know, somewhat reminiscent of a fitness channel. Hope you guys are ready for a sick video. If you are, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are brand new, and without further ado, welcome to the vlog.
No need to worry about doing it right. We are free and then we realize. Free and then we realize.
Back from the walk, working on some breakfast, currently sauteing up some diced ham, some peppers, some jalapeno peppers for my morning omelet. I love making omelets in the morning. They are low carb, moderate fat, high protein. I keep the fat even lower because I use just regular 2 eggs and then some egg whites. It's a high protein breakfast. For those who've been following the channel, you guys know that I keep my mornings fairly low carb because I do have a relatively inactive job. So I try to base my carbohydrates closer to my activities. So later on I'll be working out in the evening, obviously, so I'll have a higher carb lunch, higher carb pre-workout meal, and a higher carb post-workout meal. And I like to have my carbs later on in the evening so I can have a little bit more fun with my food by the end of the night. So with my omelets lately, I've been doing kind of a fun little twist on them. So I'll show you guys how I've been making my omelets lately. All right, so what I've been doing, I've been topping off my omelets with some fat-free cheese after it sets up a little bit. So our omelet is looking like right now, but instead of flipping it over, throwing the broiler on, popping it in the oven, so it's like an open face omelet. It's almost like a quiche, sort of like frittata-esque thing. I don't know, it's delicious. I'll show you guys the finished product here shortly. All right, finished product. Topped it off with some salt, pepper, sriracha. Pretty stoked about this one. So we've got some diced ham, green pepper, jalapeno pepper, fat-free cheese. Honestly, guys, it's the best way to make an omelet. Little omelet quiche thing here. High protein, pretty low fat, very low carb. I'll give you guys a bite. Caught some time in between my morning meetings to whip up a quick breakfast. Chop everything up, saute all the veggies and the ham and whatnot, cook it all. I think total cook times between 15 and 20 minutes. It's a very, very quick and easy high protein breakfast. Very steamy, look at that. Oh, it looks so good. I'm so hungry. All right, here we go. Delicious. Honestly, I think it's my favorite breakfast. How often do I have this, babe? Once a day? I think I have this. Once a day? I think I have this every morning. Pretty freaking good. So we're gonna go ahead and smash this, wrap up the morning meetings, and I will see you guys at lunch for another fun recipe. Oh man. Wow, you guys are a lot higher than I thought you would be. Down a little bit. There we go. Just got a bunch of work unloaded on my desk and decided that today coffee, you know what? Let's go ahead and brighten things up in here. Just got a bunch of work unloaded on my desk and decided that today coffee was not going to be enough. So we ran to the gas station, got myself a Monster Ultra Zero with the sugar-free. Oh, what a great sound. That is gonna get the job done. Really quickly before lunch, I wanna talk to you guys a little bit about caffeine intake. Disclaimer, no, you shouldn't just be drinking ungodly amounts of caffeine throughout the day, mainly because that's gonna really dehydrate you and you're not gonna be able to sleep, and hydration and proper sleep are very important for muscular recovery as well as overall health and well-being. That being said, I do think to an extent caffeine intake and how you should limit it is relatively up to the individual. For me, I get roughly 7 to 8 hours of sleep. 8 is like pushing it for me. I operate best right around 7.5. Think about 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day, and I train 6 times a week. We'll talk about that later, but it doesn't really interrupt my training. For the most part, I feel recovered whenever I go into the gym. I feel just fine. I'll give you myself for an example. In the morning, I'll have anywhere between 1 and 3 cups of coffee depending on how I slept that night. And then I only really have, I'd say 1 or 2 of these energy drinks a week. They are almost no calories. They are 0 sugar. They do artificial sweeteners as opposed to real sugar, which that's another conversation for another video. I don't feel like they interrupt anything in my day. They definitely give me energy, which is helpful. And on top of that, having one of these or two of these a week, I think is negligible. I don't think anything would happen to you as opposed to just the heightened amount of caffeine and heightened energy you would get from consuming one of them. My pre-workout is where I get most of my caffeine from. It's gonna be right around 300 milligrams. The PE Science Prolific, I take 2 scoops, and I think it's just over 300, right around 320, 325. I think standard for pre-workout these days is 2 or 250, so that extra 50 to 75 milligrams isn't really gonna do a whole lot more, to be honest with you. I just really enjoy that pre-workout. Outside of that, if I have a 0 sugar soda that day, that's another 80 milligrams, and then 2 cups of coffee, that's 160 total. So we're looking at below 600 milligrams of caffeine throughout the day, and that is not my daily average. I would argue that my daily average, if you look at it on a week-to-week basis, is going to be right around 500, if not less. And to be honest with you, I have noticed no significant negative results from that because I've been having right around 500 milligrams a day for a long time. Some would say that that's detrimental. I've noticed no significant negative result or no negative impact from it. As long as you are staying on top of your hydration, drink about a gallon, if not more, of water a day. If you're drinking a lot of caffeine, I would drink even more to combat that. Sleep, what is the best for you? I would argue between 7 and 9 is going to be good for just about everybody. So focus on your hydration, your recovery, and obviously your nutrition. That is what's going to impact your results the most. So with that, I'm going to slam this white monster down, and I will see you guys in a couple hours for lunch.
So shout out to cameraman for organizing my protein bars.
Watching some Travis S on this fine Wednesday afternoon. Work has been absolutely crazy. It is almost 1 o'clock, and I'm just now getting to actually cook my lunch. Normally I would just throw some turkey and rice in a bowl and call it a day, but you guys are probably super sick and tired of that. So we're whipping up something a little bit different. We have got some yellow peppers, some Brussels sprouts, and some red peppers, nice and beautifully aligned here on this baking sheet. Sprayed it down with some olive oil, gonna top it off. Olive oil? Sprayed it down with some olive oil spray. Gonna top it off with some seasonings, and we're gonna make ourselves a little mixture, surprise mystery bowl of something that you guys are gonna see when it's all done. So we will see you in the next 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes when everything is ready. And that is the finished product. Not the prettiest meal I've ever made. Actually, it might be the prettiest I've ever made a meal look for YouTube. That's for sure. I'm gonna grab a seat on the couch, do a little taste test for you guys. Okay, so we've got, oh, camera is tilted, of course. Andrew, why don't you just start recording when you're done with this, you idiot. We've got what I'm gonna go ahead and call my take on a Southwestern bowl. We've got some black beans, got some Brussels sprouts, some red, some yellow pepper, and some ground turkey. And we're gonna top it off with some Greek yogurt, plain, non-fat, high protein, moderate carb, and a little bit of this fire roasted organic salsa that we get from Aldi. So right here, we've got a high protein, moderate carb, low fat meal. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the calories and macros on the screen right now. Mix everything up, give you guys a little taste test. It's a lot of flavor. I'm digging it. That's delicious. I'm not a big fan of sour cream on its own or plain Greek yogurt on its own, but when you throw it into things, it really mixes well with the flavors, makes everything a lot creamier. If you guys are looking for an alternative to sour cream, plain, non-fat Greek yogurt is mostly protein. Yeah, 17 grams per serving and only 7 carb per serving. And it tastes the exact same as sour cream. So I'll finish this up and I will see you guys at the gym. How my program is built, you guys will see later. I knock out all my strength at the beginning of the week when I am at my strongest and peak condition to do so, and the hypertrophy stuff comes later in the week. So on my first deadlift day of the week, 275 pounds, final warm up. Hip is killing it in squats the other day, but we're gonna see how it goes. Wasn't too bad, relatively pain-free. Hip is still bothering me. Top single's gonna be 315. I'm gonna throw in the bell and hope for the best. So my hip feels like shit. Guarantee you it's from too much volume on my first squat session. I added an extra set, and on the extra set, I could tell I was taxed, but I was like, you know what, just push through it. What's one more set? You're gonna do a lot of leg volume anyway, so one more set of squats didn't kill you. And it didn't, but I felt something on that rep on Monday that really screwed with my hip and my lower back injury. So I decided to throw in some deficit deadlifts. Never have I done those ever before. I actually really, really like them, and they look probably the best out of everything, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, as you guys saw, deadlifts, not the greatest today. You know what I did not do? What I used to do when things didn't go my way in the gym, I would get upset and I'd let it affect the rest of my training session, and I would obsess and I would focus way too heavily on the fact that my hip was acting up, or something caused me pain or discomfort, or otherwise affected my lift or the rest of the session in a relatively negative manner. Never do that. It is not good. It will carry over into your progress in a negative way. You could possibly further injure yourself. It's just, it doesn't make for a good session, doesn't make for good progress or habits. So instead, what I did do is I reassessed. I auto-regulated, whereas I should have been doing a single at 315, which I did, and then back downs of 295, and then back downs for higher reps, closer to 6 or 7, maybe 8 rep range was what was on the program for today. Instead, I auto-regulated, and I did 275 for 4 sets of 4, and then did some deficit deadlifts just to play around with some things. And to my surprise, they felt really good. So when things in the gym are not going your way, don't fret. Yes, it does suck. This is easier said than done. Take a moment, step back, breathe, maybe even go home, maybe just take the rest of the day, the rest of the night off. I don't like doing that, but sometimes I have to. At the end of the day, just assess in the moment, get a good workout in the best way you can at that particular moment, and revisit the lift the next session. As that is easier said than done, I promise you it is well worth it to build that habit. Now, normally I do whiteboard videos in the office, but right now we have got one on the casting couch here in the living room. As I mentioned earlier, I did start a new program. It is something that I built for myself, and so far I'm very much enjoying it. I'm going to explain that right now. So if you can see, I'm trying to find a non-awkward way to hold this whiteboard, and you can see the ring light kind of bouncing off of it, so we'll do our best. On this program, for as long as I decide to run it, I will be training 6 times per week. A lot of people think that level of volume is too much, the frequency is too high. In my opinion, I train best when I'm in the gym 5 to 6 days a week, mainly because it is a mental release for me. It is how I keep my mental health in check, is to stay active. And yes, there are different ways to stay active than to lift weights, but I digress. I also don't have a very active job, so being in the gym 6 times a week is my way of staying active. Next point, I will be eating 24 to 2,700 calories on a regular basis. One day out of the week, I will allow myself to just cheat or go out of that range, or not even really give a shit about that range, because that is what I consider having freedom to eat more of the things that I want that I do on a day-to-day basis. In addition to that, I allow that higher calorie day where I know that I'm not going to be tracking or staying super diligent on the food that I take in, or the amount in which I take that food in. I allow that to be my sort of refeed day, and with that, I know that it will aid in my recovery in the long run. Recently learned of the new phrase, main gaining. Typically when I'm in a strength or size building phase, which I am now, I will immediately go into a small surplus and then build on that caloric surplus and continue to build. And I think what I know what I've experienced with that is just gaining unwanted fat, either at all or definitely too soon, and over time I end up building muscle and strength, but I sacrifice my physique while doing it. Eating at maintenance and training hard and training for strength, will that take a longer time? I'm almost certain of it, yes, but I'm willing to practice patience to get to that point and still keep a relatively lean physique, i.e. main gaining. Point number 3 there, this is a size and strength building phase. Again, wanting to stay lean. Right now, my main goal is to build strength in the main 3 lifts, the squat, bench, and deadlift, and to next year, hopefully register for a powerlifting meet. And on top of that, I would like to gain some size, as I am recently probably the healthiest and in a muscular fashion, the biggest that I've ever been. And that's both surprising to me after finishing the half marathon, but also it's very motivating. So I want to keep on that. And I've never really dedicated an extended period of time to a strength and size gaining phase without either getting impatient or just giving up because of a certain injury or other roadblock that I had experienced at that time. Those are the three main points. Let's go ahead and dive into days 1 through 6. So I mentioned earlier, my first 3 days of training, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, respectively, I knock out my strength days, my heavy days, you know. I do this because after recovering on Sunday, I don't train on Sundays, and typically Sundays are where I eat more calories. So on Monday, I've rested. I am coming off a day of way less activity than I'm used to. My body has not been under a lot of physical or emotional stress, so I am primed to be as strong as I possibly can at the beginning of the week. So day 1, traditionally my Mondays have been bench days for as long as I can remember. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone there and get out of that routine. Day 1 is my first squat day of the week, and typically what this will look like is a heavy single, double, or triple, some lighter-ish back downs between 3 and 5 reps, and then some higher volume, some higher volume sets, 2 to 3 sets of anywhere between 6 and 8 reps, or some pauses depending on whatever. And then my accessories are going to be a little bit lower because I am going to be focusing on strength as opposed to hypertrophy on these heavy strength days. Day 2, first bench session of the week, same idea, heavy single, double, or triple, some back downs, you get the gist. And here, all of my accessories are going to be between 8 and 12 reps, typically not higher. Same goes for day 1, squat, kind of backtrack there a little bit, but same goes for my first squat session and the third day of the week. I'm not really chasing a pump here. I'm more focusing on moving the most weight as efficiently as possible. Day 3, same format, but with a deadlift. And today I just figured, since Monday and Tuesday I had a heavy single with some back offs, just to see where I'm at right now. So today we did a single at 315, a 4x4 at 275, and then some deficits. I think I did 2 sets of 5 at 225, but they were very slow. So I would go ahead and even say that I did slow negatives on there because my hammies are really feeling it. So that is the first 3 days of the week, first half of the program, and my strength has all been knocked out. Day 4. I'm excited to try this one tomorrow. I haven't done this since I was running a powerlifting program last winter. Day 4 is a squat and bench workout. I'll be running more of a hypertrophy-based routine days 4, 5, and 6. More focused on building muscle and focus on technique of whatever movements I'm working on. So for example, day 4 is a squat and bench day. I want to keep my accessories relatively low, but I'll be focusing on higher reps both in the squat and the bench, probably more sets. In addition to that, focusing on technique, maybe throwing in some longer pauses, some tempo work, things like that, to really build on my proficiency of the technique on these 2 lifts. And then I'll probably do 1 to 2 accessory movements per body part, depending on how I'm feeling. Now day 5 is more of a bodybuilding style day. I will be doing the overhead press, as that is my weakest lift by far, and I really do want to become stronger in the overhead press. So day 5, I will be the one time a week that I focus on overhead press and focus on building strength with that. But I'll still be doing some more hypertrophy-based work with that as well. And then day 5 is going to be a very bodybuilding heavy day. That's going to be typically an arm and shoulder workout, and then maybe some other accessories that if I didn't have time to hit or I was too fatigued to hit earlier on in the week, I'll throw those in right there as well. That's definitely a pump chasing day. Really excited to do that later on this week. And then the final day, which is Saturday. Saturdays I have the longest amount of time in the week to train for my schedule. Cassie's at work until 4 o'clock. I'm not working, and if I'm not working out or editing, I'm sitting here in my butt doing nothing. So I can take my time and really increase the volume and the number of sets, reps, all of that I do in that workout. So what I've been doing lately is a chest and a back workout on Saturday. On this chest and back workout day, I do 3 exercises for chest and for back. And lately what I've been doing is a 5x5 on an incline bench or a close grip bench, and then after that I follow it with a Pendlay row or a barbell row. But depending on how I'm feeling, this could be my second deadlift day of the week with just some higher reps and technique work. But if my legs are too fried for a second deadlift day of the week, I'll just stick with the Pendlay row or the barbell row or the trap bar row, things like that. Start with the heavy rep work first, Then for the next 2 exercises, I will do anything between 8 and 15 reps. And then for the last 2 exercises, I will do anywhere between 8 and 20 reps to really chase a pump and just really overly fatigue my muscles for that day. That way, all those calories that I intake on Sunday will be used to recover properly and feed the muscles the way that I want them to, so I can get friggin' jacked. That is my program. I have no name for it. I guess you could consider it a power building program. It's a phrase that's been tossed around in the fitness space somewhat recently. Essentially, it's just getting bigger while you're getting stronger, and in my mind, staying lean is something that I have not really challenged myself to achieve while chasing those former 2 goals. So very much looking forward to running this program, excited to see the progression. Now, I'm exhausted, but I got one more thing to talk to you guys about, but I gotta wait until Cass gets home. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Back on the casting couch for the final meal of the evening. We have some apple crisp and we have some Halo Top. The last thing I want to cover in this video, I'm having apple crisp tonight for 3 reasons. 1, your beautiful girlfriend makes you delicious fall desserts. You devour them because they are delicious and she is beautiful and you love her. 2, I'm very sore. My body needs some additional calories to recover and I have some calories to work with today. So today I might just be in a little bit of a bigger surplus, but that's just fine because what we're really worried about is a regular routine of caloric intake, not one day we're a little bit low or one day we're a little bit high. As long as you are consistently inconsistent, I'd argue over 80% of the time, you're gonna be just fine. Point number 3 being that I'm good and on top of my shit more often than not. So I don't think tonight's apple crisp and Halo Top is going to kill me because at the end of the day, what matters is your caloric intake overall and your protein. Outside of that, the rest of the macros, I don't want to say don't matter, but quite frankly, all you need to worry about is calories and protein, and I for sure hit my protein goal for the day. And if I haven't, this extra Halo Top will definitely help me with that. And again, going back to what I said about the weekly intake, that's what really matters. My weekly protein is on point. So, with that, I'm going to go and wrap up the video here. We're going to watch some Harry Potter and enjoy the apple crisp and ice cream. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please drop it a like, smash subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.